recording because we're a little bit late. I don't want to forget to record. Just some real quick housekeeping things is that we are recording. These cameras are super good at zooming in on you, and the mics are very sensitive and pick it all up in high definition. So be mindful of what you say or what comes across your screen or your facial expression. And if you're joining us remotely, please stay muted when you are not speaking to cut down on background noise or interference. So today is December 7th, 2023. It is a little after 4:30, but we're here at the LWIA Center for the Planning and Oversight meeting. So whenever you are ready, Chair Conrad, you can call to order.
I am ready. Let's call the meeting to order and let's have a roll call, please.
All right. Casey Burkholzer, present. Kelly Denton for Kevin Busher, present. Mike Conrad.
Here.
Aaron Hacker. Julie Obermark. Chris Kroll. Here. Kim Taylor.
Here.
Carol Tracy. Here. Jeff Boyd.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Fantastic. Okay, first action item is to review and approve the September 14th meeting minutes. I need a motion, please. And a second, please.
I can second.
Great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those approved, same sign. Fantastic. Conflict of interest. Is there anyone that has any conflicts of interest based on what we would be going over in the meeting tonight, based on the agenda? Okay, no conflicts of interest. Grant recipient fiscal agent reports. Debbie?
All right, we shall start with a statement of expenditures for WIA. This is through October and we're at 32.7%. So we are sitting fairly well on that. The big things that you'll see as far as percentage spent, publications and dues, we had a good portion of that. 6,000 of it was the podcast renewal. And then we had rental equipment that will be all of that. We had the annual for all of our copiers throughout our region. So that is done. So one thing I did want to point out, the administrative expense. Normally under past years, we would have been further along in that process, but Lakeland changed up how they do indirect costs this year. It used to be 40% of our salary and benefits. So we would go through it by like January, we would hit our 50,000. Now it's a straight 10% of our costs. So it's going to take a lot longer, and who knows, we might not even hit the 50,000, but if we do, it will take basically the entire year to get there. So any questions on that one? Okay, we shall move on. The second page is the apprenticeship navigator. This one shows through August, which is when the grant ended. And basically, I just want to show the final numbers for this grant. We ended at 92.3% of the overall grant budget that we spent. So that one is that and done. So any questions on that one? Okay, the next one is the apprenticeship expansion grant, which is what Devin is getting paid out of. Right now, we are only at 6.2%, and this one does last through June 30th of next year. So we will keep chipping away at that one as the year goes on. So any questions on that one? All right. The next report is the accounts payable report. As you can see, it's a lot of the same monthly expenditures. We have the SEPs ones that we always pay on a weekly basis. There's some travel, some incumbent worker. That's the bulk of what there was. We did have one new, the Salesforce, which was part of the apprenticeship grant, a CRM service that I think all the business reps use and utilize, but that is something new for this year, but it did come out of the apprenticeship grant and not the regular WIA funding. So any questions on any of those? The next one is the key metrics. As you can see, the obligations, we are sitting very good on most of them. Dislocated workers, that will get rectified shortly whenever we do a modification. We're going to be moving money from dislocated worker over to adult, so that will help rectify that. The direct training expenses, 57.2%, a little bit lower than in years past, but it is still meeting the 50% of the total expenditure. So we're just keeping an eye on that to make sure that that stays above where it needs to be. And as you can see for the youth, the 22 grant, we have used all of the 22 youth money. So we will get fails on those two measures. And we are working on getting that 23 grant up to where they need to be. So any questions on the key metrics? We shall move on. The next is the training versus overhead, which I sort of touched on with the key metrics. We're at 57.2% for the adult and dislocated worker, which is above the 50%. And as we will talk about in a little bit with the new funding, we're going to be applying for some new funds for the quad dislocated workers. So we will be able to use part of those funds to help go against this. So hopefully that will help boost those up. So we'll see as we get further in that process, but we have found out we are able to use some of those funds to help with that. So, and then the next page is just the overall total training versus overhead, and it's just slightly above 50%. So any questions on the training versus overhead? Okay. The next one is the MOU invoices. This is for the different partners, their portion of the directors and officers policy. It just got billed out the last part of November, so we should start receiving payments anytime now from various partners. So any questions on that one? Okay. The next report is the incumbent worker training project. As you can see, the 22 grant is pretty well spoken for at this point in time. The 23 grant, we have several projects in the works, which even more have been added in the last few days. As we talk about with the new funding, we're going to be doing some rearranging. So some of that 23 allocation is actually going to go to SEPs to be used for adult needs. So we aren't going to be using the full $200,000, but I think we have a good plan in place to make sure that it gets used as well as it can be. So any questions on that? Okay. The other couple things I just wanted to touch on, the Lakeland annual audit, it was done. It was taken to the Lakeland board in October. It was approved there. There were no issues with LWIA, so not a whole lot to report on that, but it is done for the year. And then the other item, the new funding, we have applied and received actual grant agreement paperwork back for the new trade grant. It's going to be for $9,400. We've got one last trade participant that we are working on, and they should be done, I think, in the spring of next year. So just one left, and we will be wrapping that up. We have applied and received a notice from the state that we have received supplemental funding of $269,000 and $421 or $269,421. So we've got a big pot of money for, I think there were like 7 projects altogether. So that is all in the works, and a good portion of that is going to be youth money. That part of it's going to be used towards youth spring semester tuition. And then part of it's going to be for youth supplemental funds or supportive services. So that will definitely help with, we're hoping, those youth percentages to get those back leveled out where they need to be. So, and then one other thing that I mentioned before, we are in the process of working on a grant to help with the quad graphics layoff that's happening here in Effingham. And there's some other dislocated workers that we're wanting to bundle in with it. So that is a work in progress. So any questions on anything?
If we don't have any questions, can I get a motion to approve the grant recipient financial aid agent reports that Debbie gave us today?
I can make the motion.
Okay, and can I get a second?
Second.
Then we'll need a roll call vote, please.
Daisy Burkholder?
Yes.
Kelly Denton for Kelly Busher?
Yes. Mike Conrad?
Yes.
Aaron Hacker's not here. No Julie Overmark. Chris Stroll?
Yes.
Kim Taylor?
Yes.
Carol Tracy?
Yes.
And Jeff Boyd?
Yes.
Current LWIA 23 performance report, Kelly?
Okay, our preliminary outcomes, are showing fail right at this time. I was told that this is normal. I'm very new, but, Lori explained before she left that it is, early in the year. So that is a normal process. The youth measurable skills games, we, are just now getting grades and getting them in. Certificates, and then those who are getting degrees have not been entered. Also, after May, we'll also have more, so I'm feeling that those will be fine. Also, the adult employment rate, Q2 and Q4 are showing as a fail right now, but I have gone in and looked at each individual, or not every single one, but several, and knowing that there are people that the numbers are just not coming over yet. And so I am hopeful that those numbers will increase soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Kelly? Tony, you're up with program just monitoring report.
I don't have anything for y'all this time. Next time in March, I probably will. We'll probably plan Seth's fiscal and program monitoring March, April, February, March, April. We got a lot on our plate in the next couple months, as you'll hear from Jamie here in a minute. So we don't want to smother Seth's with some more stuff. So.
Okay. Jamie,
All right, my
big
turn.
news.
Yeah, tons of it. I'm gonna stand up because it feels really weird just to see the top of y'all's heads. And while I just pass this out real quick, I will take the time. Devin over here is the new business services specialist. He will be, he has joined the team and will be here, Chris, the staff to the business service team. He'll be all things apprenticeship navigator, talent pipeline management, and these two down, and all things business outreach for LWIA 23. So welcome, Devin.
Thank you.
I think maybe about half of you have met him before, but half of you, this is the first time. So what I'm actually supposed to be talking about right at this moment is regional plan. And like Tony said, there's a whole lot coming at us right now. So regional plan, just handed out the new updated guide to the regional plan. The vast majority of it is still very similar to the regional plan that we came out with in 2020. It was good for 2020 through 2024, and that we did an update for in 2022, and now we're doing a new iteration that will be good for our plan from 24 to 2028. So the planning for the plan we're planning for it to start soon, right? So you guys being on the planning and oversight committee, you're automatically part of the planning team, whether you like it or not. You are doing some planning. So I encourage you to read through this. I got at least 10 more in there, start tallying it up. So at least read through this, get familiar with it, refresh yourselves. Our current regional plan is still out on our website. I'll be happy to get you hard copies if you would like, but kicking off the regional plan, planning with all of the planning team, will be at our business service team meeting that's scheduled for December 13th. I have drafted out an outline of the meetings that it will take to create this plan, to plan the plan. But it's a very tight turnaround and it's very dependent on us getting other projects done in tandem to feed into the plan that we're planning. So overall, the timeline looks something like this. We got our regional data packets like October 31st, I think. It's a big old thick thing. I didn't print out enough for everybody because there's not enough paper in the world. But that is now available online and we'll get it onto our website this week and next week. From there, we did get the guide that I just gave to you on November 15th. So now the actual planning has to commence over the course of December and January, because by February 14th of 2024, we have to have our plan out for public comment. The regional plan hangs out for 30 days, I think, and by March 30th, by March 14th, we receive the public comment, we make any changes pending that public comment, and we bring it back to the board and the oversight committee, you all, for approval in March. Then from there, we submit on March 31st, that whole regional plan to the governor or the Department of Commerce, and we wait for them to give us the okay or their request for revisions. The revisions should come to us, or request for revisions. They almost always ask for us to change something. Will be in by June, May 20th. And then in June, we make the revisions, submit by June 20th for this to be in effect July 1st of 2024. So that sounds like a long ways away, right? July, but we got a whole lot of work to do in January to get us on track for that. So be on the lookout for your inbox for dates of meetings. Right now it's looking like every week in January, we'll have a meeting scheduled to align with the topics of the chapters. So I will notify you if, hey, your input of this particular topic that we're focusing on is really important for this meeting. If you can attend it, it's appreciated. Participate, give input. If you're not able to attend, I still need input so we can work on what method would be best for you, whether that's a conversation, a one-on-one, you just need to put it on a Post-it note and stick it to my forehead, whatever works. But we're going to be in a mess of things, all things planning over the next few weeks. So just to give you an idea real quick, the components are Chapter 1's economic and workforce analysis. So that data packet, we're looking at that, we're analyzing our local workforce and trying to decide what do we need to include in our plan? What are we focusing on? And it all has to align with the Illinois Unified Plan that they're creating at the same time that we're creating our plan. So that's fun too. Then Chapter 2 is strategies for service integration. And that aligns and is influenced heavily by the one-stop operators self-assessment of service integration. So we have to time it out that that is done before we start doing Chapter 2. Then Chapter 3 is those vision goals and implementation strategies. Once we've decided on those goals that align with the state plan and what we've seen in our analysis from Chapter 4, then digs more into kind of a local operating systems and policies section. 5 is on our performance goals and evaluations. And then Chapter 6 is technical requirements and assurances. And then the MOU updates and budget influence Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 as well. So we got MOU negotiations and budget and modifications going. We got the service integration assessment and action plan going. We have our regional, and we're lucky because our regional plan and our local plan is the same thing. Other areas have to do a local plan and a regional plan, and they're different. Ours, we are the only local area in our region. So we do have it easy. And then what else? There's something else.
You said MOU.
MOU, service integration and action plan, our regional plan. Oh, our one-stop certification. that was originally told us would be due December 31st, while all this other stuff was going on, but that has been extended to the end of the program year, so June 30th of 24. So tons of stuff going on, lots of stuff. So please keep your eyes out for communications from me, attend any meetings that you are able to, and this is your plan, this is your region. You all know what's going on in the region and what we need more of, or what direction we need to go, so your input is valuable and important. I want you to prioritize that, and it's gonna look like a lot of meetings, but I'm going to tell you which meetings are most important for each partner. Do you have any questions on all of the plans for our regional planning plan and being on the planning team? Yeah,
So there's a meeting December 13th.
our normal business service team meeting is December 13th, and that is kind of where we decided we would kick off. And I have not put out any invitations to anyone beyond our traditional business service team, but those will be coming out soon. We were waiting for today for one self-operator to kind of get a timeline down for the service assessment. There will be a makeup. So because we knew the kickoff being the 13th and already several of our business service team members won't make that one. So December 20th, the following week, we will do a repeat of basically the same thing. So those will be coming to your inbox soon. They will all be Zoom. There will be hybrid options for some of them, if not all of them. So December 13th, there is a in-person option here at Cluthy, and we're working on that for the rest of the schedule. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Self-paid leave for all workers act policy. Kelly?
Okay, so Illinois is passed a law that it's going into effect January 1st. And this is including our work experience participants. So CFS has created a policy and a procedure to be in accordance with this law. And so I don't know if you want me to explain how this is going to work, or you just want to look over the pages, or do you want me to talk?
Highlight it
Okay.
quickly.
So for each 40 hours that a participant works, they will accumulate 1 hour. And so on January 1st, after 90 days, they'll be able to start using those hours. So participants can start taking that April 1st. So, or 90 days after their employment. So let's say they don't start till April, then three months later, 90 days later, then they can start using that paid time. I know that DECIO is contesting this for the work experience folks, so I'm not sure if we have to use this, but we wanted to be prepared. So
So are they currently not earning benefits now?
they only work 29 hours a week,
Okay.
and they only work up to 364 days a
Okay.
year. And then
So they're
usually they
current.
get hired on or, go somewhere else.
No, they don't get any benefits.
They don't get
No, yeah, they
benefits
don't
now?
get it.
Okay. I just know because we're realigning some of our benefits to fall under this, but if they're not getting benefits at all, then it's a
Right.
whole new thing for them, so.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Hey Kelly, I do have one question I just thought of. So now I know the DCO is talking to DOL about exempting youth work experience. So I think we need it to be said that if DOL exempts youth work experience from this law, that this is not going to be your policy.
Right.
So we're not going to accept this policy for everybody now. It's only if DOL says, yes, you have to.
Yes.
So if they exempt them, that's not going to be your policy. They're not going to get any benefits.
Right.
When will we know if DOL
they're back and forth with emails. We've been getting emails all week.
So
about
the
this
law
stuff.
goes into effect January first. We are not expecting to have a finalized decision on that by January first. So
Okay.
as of January first, it is in place. We have this gap of time because the law says they can't start using the time that they've earned until
April, right.
90
90
days.
days,
So the earliest would be April first. So we know we have at least 3 months to kind of hope DOL and DCO figure something out. So this is in place because technically, yes, law starts January first and SEFS has to abide by it.
Right, and this is going before our board this evening. tonight.
So if we are able to get an exemption for youth work experience and federal grant dollars, then I assume SEFS will rescind that, their board will
Yes.
rescind it, we'll let you guys know, but this is, so SEFS is in compliance with the law as of January first.
So we don't have to put anything in SEFs that says that this is only if this law does go into effect.
I think we put it in the minutes, and I've already got it written down in the minutes for that.
Okay.
That's what's gonna happen. So
Okay.
it's gonna be in effect, that's gonna be their policy unless DOL exempts them. And if they do, then no.
Okay.
Do we need to approve that, or is it just an informational item that?
It's on the minute or on the agenda as action
Is
required.
it? So, yeah,
Okay.
not gonna hurt to approve.
Can I get a motion to approve this? I'll approve it. Can I get a second, please? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Any other business? Okay. Date and time of our next meeting.
Next one will be March 14th, 2024, and we should be back at SEP's office for that one unless there's any sort of conflict, so
At 4:30.
at 4:30, yep.
Excellent. Don't see any public comment. Don't see any public. Can I need a motion to adjourn, please?
I'll
So
motion.
moved. Boy,
That's always the easiest one. Thank you.
Thank you all. I'm stopping recording and I'm logging off. Bye, Jeff.